Kingfishers! I hope you're all okay. This week in our maths we've been learning about doubling, and I have found a story that I think you might find interesting. The title of this story is "This is the story of Alison Hubble, who went to bed single and woke up double." Can you imagine that? And the author, the person who wrote the story, is Allan Ahlberg, and the illustrator, the person who drew the pictures, is Bruce Ingman. Look, here's Alison with her mum and her dad. This is the story of Alison Hubble, who went to bed single and woke up double. Woke up with a twin in her single bed. "Who are you? Who are you?" she said. Then her dad came in. "Good grief, ye gods!" Mr. Hubble groaned as he gazed at the sight of Alison cloned. I can't believe it. It's hardly fair. One daughter's enough. We don't need a pair." Then Mrs. Hubble came in. "Oh, Alison, Alison," cried her mother. "You always said you wanted a brother. I'm quite overcome. Your gran'll go wild. We don't expect this from an only child." After that, Alison had a word or two. "I want to get up." "That goes for me." "I'm hungry and thirsty and bored." "I agree." "But what to wear?" "Yes, that's the trouble. I'm in two minds," said Alison Hubble. By and by, Alison went to school with a letter for the teacher. "Dear Mrs. Mott, I thought I ought to write a note about our Alison, who doubled in the night. Her father and I were powerless to prevent what can only be described as this singular event. We're sorry indeed to put you to this trouble. Yours sincerely, Maureen Hubble. P.S. Her extra dinner money is enclosed." Well, at first it was fun, lots of laughs, and a queue formed at playtime for her autographs. Presently, however, there was a spot of bother. Her friend said, "But Alison, which one's really you? Come on, we're flummoxed. Give us a clue." "Well, I'm me," said Alison. "And I'm me too." "No, you're not. What rubbish." "I'm more me than you." Later, while the children were getting ready for games, the cloakroom was crowded, but got crowded even more when all of a sudden there was Alison times 4. She had doubled again in seconds flat, like magical rabbits from a conjurer's hat. Her friends were delighted and concerned for her fate. "Poor Alison," they sympathised, and "This is great." They argued in the football match which team she should be in. "With Alison in goal, we'd be bound to win." Then it was home time. When Alison came through the door and kept on coming, her father put on his glasses and started drumming with his fingers on the table, and then he said, "Ye gods, it was bad enough before, now we've got quads." Alison, meanwhile, was feeling hungry. "Cheese for me. I'd like ham." "Boiled egg and salad, please." "Bread and jam." Then she went outside and upstairs too, and sat in the kitchen and sat on the loo. Did the washing up and some of the drying, ran into the garden and knocked herself flying. At 8 o'clock, Alison went to bed. She tiptoed on the landing, giving herself a scare as she whispered in the darkness, "Alison, you still there?" And before she went to sleep, each one of her stared at the ceiling with a puzzled look on her face and a curious quadruple feeling. When morning came, Mrs. Hubble called to her husband, "Ted! Wake up, come on, go and count her. I can't bear to look," she said. So Alison's father arose and peered anxiously in at each door. "There's 2 in there," he reported, "and 2 in the bath makes 4. "And 2 in the kitchen," cried Alison, "and 2 on the stairs makes 10. Maths wasn't her strongest subject. "I think I've doubled again." Later, she had her breakfast and went off and 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 off to school. Where a crowd was waiting at the playground gate with a noisy welcome, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Alison! A reporter was there from the local press. "Who's Alison Hubble?" And the crowd said, "Guess!" And the photographer with him lined Alison up like a football team that had won the cup. Eventually, Alison reached her classroom and the teacher called register. "Alison Hubble." "Here, miss. Here, 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 miss." Extra books were needed. Extra chairs and tables. Said Mrs. Mott, all muddled up, "What you girls need are labels." After school, Alison came home to find her dad in his best suit and her mum looking brave with a cup of tea, being interviewed for the BBC, while the crowd in the street went ooh and ah. Here's Alison, etc. There were TV cameras, a TV van, microphones, cables, and Alison's gran, who was complaining about the unfairness of it all. But Alison by now had complaints of her own. "I'm fed up with crowds. I want to be alone." She refused to be filmed for the news at 10, stamped up to her room and doubled again. said her mum. What a tragedy. It'll take us 2 hours to cook her tea. You're right, said her dad. It's rotten luck. We'll have to do the shopping with a 3-ton truck. Alison, however, cheered up when she went into the garden. Yes, out on the lawn stood a great big tent with sleeping bags too, which the council had lent. Yet even then there were certain snags when she doubled that night and got stuck in the bags. In case you've lost count, there were now 32 of her. Well, Alison's fame continued to spread. She's 1 in a million, the papers said. Various professors and experts also took an interest in her. They studied her tongues and tapped her knees and talked of split personalities. It's something in the water, something she ate, an act of God. The Martians, fate. And they wondered where the world was heading and whether or not they could stop her spreading. They are wondering yet, if you care to know, for the numbers of Alison continue to grow. She's lately reached a huge amount, though how many's uncertain. They've all lost count. Meanwhile, Alison, who has, so to speak, grown out of her tent, is presently living in Stoke-on-Trent. All of it. The end. Not. I hope you like the story of Alison Hubble, who went to bed single and woke up double. Can you imagine if you woke up in the morning and there was a double and you kept on doubling? That would be very weird. I hope you liked this story, Kingfishers. Bye!